Hello everybody, my name is Alexander Kazina, aka Kozibear, and I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening for another installment of Season 4 of Kozibear's Cooking. This is a limited run, 7-episode show that you can watch live on twitch.tv. Excuse me, I had a weird, it wasn't even phlegm in my throat, I'm getting over a cold, I'll get to it. For whatever reason I had to interrupt that sentence, don't know why. This is a 7-episode show that you can watch live on twitch.tv/Kozibear Live every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time between January 31st and March 13th. And if you missed one of my episodes live, don't you worry, I'll be uploading and publishing VODs of all my prior streams to YouTube every Saturday following their initial broadcast. I have a great episode in store for you, so let's get this ball right and rolling. Tonight, we are going to be making Pikachu corn pudding. Yes, that's right. Not just any corn pudding. We are going to be making, get ready for this one, whoops, as soon as I get it out, the actual corn, Pikachu corn pudding. See him? You see my boy? You see him? That's right, we're making Pikachu corn pudding. Now, there's a lot to get into to explain this one. Quick little bit of housekeeping. I'm just getting over a cold. On Thursday, I realized that something was coming up. I think it was because I don't know if you remember this, but on the previous Kozibear's cooking stream I did where I made the Apex milk and cookies, I tried to roll the lemon cookies in those white sprinkles and it wasn't really working. Those white sprinkles I got from Bulk Barn, which is like a Canadian candy store where you can buy stuff in bulk. And I had to like bike through the rain to get back home. It wasn't like especially cold rain. It was actually like weirdly relatively warm, but I guess that got me a little bit on the sick side because Thursday I started to feel a cold coming on. Friday I was pretty sick. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday I've been recovering, and now I'm kind of at the best point in my cold that I've been. Still might cough a little bit, but I'll try not to do so into the food. Anyways, all that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about tonight's dish. So here's the thing. A little while ago, I got this book called The Pokemon Cookbook, Easy and Fun Recipes. This is a lie. They are not easy and they are not fun. All of the recipes in this book are basically like, oh, not like, oh, these are dishes inspired by Pokemon. These are like dishes that you would be able to eat in the Pokemon games. It's like, create a sandwich and then create an incredibly like articulate and complicated recreation of Arceus on top of the sandwiches that I wouldn't be able to do in a million years. That's every single dish in this bowl. Like, I can't create unknown cookies that look like that. That's too complicated. Regigigas? Who has time to make a Regigigas that looks that incredibly complicated out of like rice and some peppers that probably taste awful? Yeah, so as a whole, I don't really like this cookbook. I don't appreciate how so many of the dishes are like, oh, it's actually a relatively like simple and not very flavorful dish, but you just have to like spend 4 hours crafting it so that it looks like a Pokemon. Not very fun. But here's the thing. Going through the cookbook, I was like, you know, there's a couple of ideas of things I'd want to try in here. A couple of things that do seem kind of interesting in concept. One of those is for, give me just a moment. Here we go. Pikachu creamed corn. That's the thing that I'm pointing to right over there. It's basically, as you can see in the upper left corner, like a Pikachu face that is made into like a dish of creamed corn. And I was like, ooh, I kind of like that idea. I would go for that. But to be totally honest, I'm looking at the creamed corn recipe in the Pikachu Pokemon Cookbook right now. It's not the most complicated recipe in the world. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I feel like we could do ourselves a little bit better. We could make something that's perhaps a little bit more, you know, a little bit tastier, a bit more complex, something that's worthy of our extensive experience that we've, you know, cultivated over the years making dishes on this channel. And then I remembered, oh yeah, that's right. Hold on, I'm gonna toss this Pikachu cookbook out of the way. I have an Overwatch cookbook. And one of the first recipes in the Overwatch cookbook is corn pudding. And so that's when the light bulb above my head went off. What if I made the Overwatch corn pudding recipe and then I followed the Pikachu Pokemon Cookbook's instructions on how to make the Pikachu head that you can see in the upper left corner. And so that's just what we're going to do. We are going to make the Overwatch corn pudding in this dish. We're going to use this Pikachu head as a stencil to kind of like figure out where it is that we're going to be putting like its, you know, ear markings and face markings and whatnot. And we're going to have ourselves a good time. Now, with regards to this corn pudding, this is actually a dish that I made all the way back in, I want to say season 1 of Kozibear's Cooking. If it was not season 1, it was season 2. One of those two. And that dish actually turned out really good. I don't know that I would call it the most photogenic dish from that era, but that one actually turned out pretty good. Let's read a little bit about it. Though it's labeled a pudding, this delicious recipe is no dessert. Full of bite and savory flavor, each tender spoonful is both satisfying and deeply comforting. Ash's butler, Bob, used to make this for her when she was a small girl, often when her parents were out of town on business. Even now, without being asked, he can quickly whip up a steaming bowl of this pudding after a heist gone sideways, or the sudden reappearance of a troublesome acquaintance. I should mention that the way that the Overwatch Cookbook works is basically you have individual sections themed around the various, I was going to say legends, but that's the wrong game, the various heroes. So for example, first at the beginning you have the Jesse McCree section, and then after that you have the Ash section right after, and this is part of the Ash section because it's dishes that she would make and or enjoy. Before we read a little bit about the recipes that we're going to need, the ingredients that we're going to need to assemble this recipe, we are joined tonight by a very special guest. We've had this special guest on a couple of other episodes of Kozibear's Cooking, and he is returning for this one. It is, of course, another Red Bull flavor. This one is the apricot edition. It contains apricot and strawberry artificial flavors. And I figured, you know what, for a kind of orangey yellowish dish, we could use a little bit of apricot in our life. So let's go ahead and let's energize our life. It's trademarked, by the way. Nobody else has ever used energize your life before. If you want to use that in your own commercial or products, you got to go through me first. Not bad. I don't know, that's my favorite Red Bull flavor, but we'll go with it. Okay. To make this, we are going to need 4 eggs, 1.5 cups of heavy cream, 1/4 of a cup of unsalted butter that has been melted, 1/4 of a cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 3 teaspoons of all-purpose flour, 1/2 of a teaspoon of thyme, 1/2 of a teaspoon, or rather 1/4 of a teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 a teaspoon of crushed red pepper, 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, and 6 cups of corn kernels, which I actually have, give me a moment, right in front of me in this pot, already prepared. I had to boil them because they were frozen, and now they are room temperature. Okay. First things first. Step number 1 is we need to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and lightly butter a large casserole dish. Step number 2, whisk together the eggs, cream, and melted butter in a large mixing bowl. Add the sugar, baking powder, salt, flour, and seasonings. Beat until completely mixed. Switch to a mixing spoon and add the cheese followed by the corn kernels. Transfer everything to the prepared casserole dish and then bake for around 30 minutes or until the pudding is set and a nice golden sheen, brown sheen appears on the top. So very simple. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually start by measuring out first how much of the butter we need for our... I just realized as I said that the butter is actually still upstairs. So you know what, we're going to actually need to take a quick little break to grab our butter. And at the same time, we will also set the oven to 350 degrees. So I will be right back. when I was upstairs to grab my butter, I realized that I'd already cut my butter into pieces that were each 1/4 of a cup approximately. And so I went ahead and basically just melted my 1/4 of a cup of butter right away. I also got myself a bigger mixing bowl because I think the current mixing bowl I it's not going to be quite up to snuff. I also grabbed all the other ingredients that we're going to need for refrigeration. So I think we're going to be good. Okay, here we go. Step number 2, because we're already done with step number 1. We need to whisk together the eggs, cream, and melted butter in a large mixing bowl. Add the sugar, baking powder, salt, flour, and seasonings, yada, yada, yada. Let's start with the dairy and dairy adjacent ingredients. Sorry. I do have some normal water as well. Let me do a quick little swig of normal water. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and let's bring in our top-down camera. And let's start off. Ooh, you know what? I just realized I don't think I properly set the color correction on my top-down camera ahead of time. That's my bad. I should have done so. Let me go in and finagle with these settings real quick. Ooh, yeah, I see the white balance is set to 3340 when it should actually be around 360. There we go. That's much better working. Anything else that we need to... Oh, you know, I should probably decrease the focus a little bit. That's my bad. Normally these settings are saved. Normally I don't have to go in and adjust any of these things, but for whatever reason, sometimes these settings get reset in OBS, and it's real annoying because you never know when it's going to happen. Okay, back to the stream. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pour our butter to our big mixing bowl, like that, like such. Nothing much else to it. Just going to wipe it down on the corn. I'm just going to put this over to the side. Number 2, what's next? The cream, of course. We have the cream next. We're going to grab that from our handy-dandy lunchbox that's right off screen. We used a lot of cream on a lot of these episodes of Kozibear's cooking. Somebody moved the garbage can all the way over there. Who would do that? Who would do that? Definitely not me. Definitely did not forget. Okay. We need a total of 1.5 cups of heavy cream of this stuff. So quite a bit, actually. Hold on. It's a good thing I have the big measuring cup on hand. In fact, we're going to use that instead of the small one. Should have brought the scraper. I didn't think I'd have to scrape a whole lot of shit out of that. Let me grab a paper towel real quick. Come on. There we go. Just to wipe the edge down. There we go. All right. And next up, the eggs. We have a carton of 4 eggs right here. That we do. Number 1. Just put this over here for a moment, and then I'll put them in the egg carton. Number 2. There we go. And finally, the last one. All right, doesn't say anything about whisking them together. No, it says just the whisk. So as usual, we're going to start by allowing our spoon to break up the eggs so we can get their yolk nice and in there. Don't want any rogue whole egg yolks whisking around in there, causing issues for us. And the things that I do for these streams. This isn't even like the most viscous mixture of all time, and yet there's something undeniably rather tough about mixing it up. Okay. Hold on, and maybe it'll be better to put this in the measuring cup for the moment. All right. Next, we have the sugar, baking powder, salt, flour, and seasonings. Let me grab some more Red Bull. This is a rather unique stream in that I need flour for it, but like I literally only need a few teaspoons. Normally, much more is involved. We need actually 3 tablespoons, so a little bit more than teaspoons, but you know, not that much. Perfecto. Next up, let's do the sugar. How much of this sugar we need? We need 1/4 of a cup. Okay. Did I put too much or just enough? Let me put, just gonna get rid of just a tiny amount. Okay, I think that should be enough. Should be all right. All right. There we go. There we go. Get some sugar up in this Pika Pika. Here we go. Sugar, baking powder, salt. How much salt? 1.5 teaspoons. Okay. One teaspoon, and the half teaspoon one is here. There we go. What's next? Baking powder. How much baking powder? 2 teaspoons. Okay. Because they really want this thing to rise nice and good. Baking powders, salt, flour, and seasonings, which are, I'm assuming, the thyme, cumin, and crushed red pepper. We'll start with the thyme. How many of these things do we need? Half a teaspoon. Perfect. There we go. Half in. How much of the cumin? 1/4. Makes sense because cumin can be a little bit more of a concentrated taste. There we go. And I believe it's back to 1/2 of a teaspoon for the crushed red pepper flakes. And yeah, excuse me. Let me go ahead and zoom in here so we can get the money shot for our next mixer-upper. So we mix all these beautiful spices and solids together. I want to make sure that it's well integrated at this point. We don't have any lumps of flour that hasn't been integrated into the liquid parts of this dish. You know, I'm not liking how feels like parts of this aren't fully integrating. I'm actually going to switch to a fork. It does say whisk. I've not really been using anything whisk-like, so maybe a fork will give me a bit more of an edge. I do have multiple of these forks also, and I've not really used them this stream. I don't know what else I'm necessarily going to use them for, so maybe the fork will be the solution that I need to really properly integrate this dish. Just a little bit more. There's a few chunks of butter here and there that I haven't fully melted in, but I think I got most of the other seasonings, so I think we're good for now. Okay. That's taken care of, which means next, we need to grate some cheese. Because the next thing that we need to add is our 1 cup of shredded cheddar. Hold on. Let me grab my scissors, because it'll be easier to cut this open with them. There we go. If I do it like diagonal like this, I can get the most cheese out of it this way. I hope I can. It's a little bit of an awkward fit, to be totally honest. Yeah. It's weirdly kind of tough. Hold on a sec. Let me move some things off the table that we don't currently need. A little bit more of the old Red Bull. Don't need the scissors either. Put it back there. All right, let's get back to business. Okay, let's see how much of this is. This looks like enough. I think it's enough. Hold on. I'm just trying to get the little bits of cheese that are stuck to the inside of the thingy. I'm going to say that's close enough. It's, I think, a little bit over, but I mean, I like myself some cheddar. So I'm going to just go ahead with what I graded. We don't need this cup anymore, actually, because we don't need to measure out any more ingredients. And we probably don't need these either. So we'll move these out of the way. All right. With that taken care of, we can now do a little bit more mixing. Integrate the cheese in here. Very good. Very nice. Alrighty, that's taken care of, which means that the only thing we need to do next is add in the corn kernels. Let me zoom out for this one. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do something else. We're gonna fully zoom out so we can have the full motherfucking view of this. Give me a moment. I'm going to use the fork from earlier to some more of these corn dudes in here. Whew. And with that taken care of, nothing else to do but do a little bit of mixing. Ooh, now this is gonna come together very well. Excited for this one. Alrighty. Okay. That taken care of. We are going to remove Pikachu stencil from the casserole dish. In fact, let me just wipe down the casserole dish a little bit, remove any dirt that might have gotten in there while it was waiting. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the remaining bit of butter that we did not melt earlier. That is definitely in my lunchbox, and I definitely did not forget it upstairs. Here it is. Also, hold on. I feel a cough coming on. Let me grab some water. Okay. And real simple here. We're going to grab ourselves another paper towel. We're going to rub the butter into the baking dish using the paper towel. We're going to have ourselves a nice greased up baking dish. Sorry, it's a little bit harder to get to the sides if you're not kind of holding it like this. Just really making sure I get a nice buttering of the insides. There we go. Okay, transfer everything to the prepared casserole dish. Fairly simple and straightforward. Hold on a sec. Let me do it like this time. Whoops. Quite a bit of stragglers in this one. I'm going to probably need to mix it up a little bit in the bowl itself. Not the bowl, the dish. You know what I mean. All right. All right. It's a little bit of detritus stuck to the both sides of the spoon, so I'm using the other spoon to wipe it off. Okay, I think that looks good. Assuming that my parents remembered not to turn off the oven after I put it on upstairs, we should be good to go in terms of putting it in the oven upstairs. It needs to bake for 30 minutes, which gives us more than enough time to maybe, who knows, potentially knock off a rival fight in Pokemon Recharge Yellow while we do this. We really, kind of work this out perfectly, both making a Pikachu-themed dish and also playing a Pikachu-themed game. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this upstairs, and I will be right back.
I know sometimes in life the politics are hard, and to reach the resolution you may need to hold your guard. If it's only you, then soldier through and peer through the pressure. Even when you're outnumbered and perceived as a lesser. Man of worth is really wealth for life, emotion worth the price. For ransom, false, manipulated, try, sack, contrive. A people that one-sided, not clear to see the qualities, just cloudy with the misty view of what they feel is honesty. To really find the peace inside, you need to be accepted. And it doesn't come from disrespect, from challenge man's perspective. Tailored by the views of other rules and all their politics, and acting for the needs of them remaining self-anonymous. Rules that controlling, sustaining our autonomy. No debt to them, my dues are paid, my life is my economy. Rather be an outcast than a puppet for another. At least there's really meaning to the journey that I suffer. Get what you pay for. Get what you pay for.
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel really bad that we had to cut away at that exact moment because that song was fire. I love that song. But we got a timer that we got to run, and we have a Pokemon game that we got to play. It's been 2 streams since we last played Pokemon Recharge Yellow, and I'm excited because if you recall, at the end of last stream, we pulled off an amazing last-minute victory with Rygar the Charmeleon, which I think secures Rygar's spot in this team, meaning our current team makeup is Jules the Weeping Bell, Rygar the Charmeleon, Butthugger the Pikachu, and Mank the Mankey. I don't think that... Trip has proved his usefulness somewhat, and he has some pretty good stab moves, but I don't know how much longer we're necessarily gonna seize him for. Excuse me. All right. We're gonna go ahead. I think it's probably gonna be a little bit too tight to beat Lieutenant Surge's gym today, but maybe we can, just maybe, we can beat our rival in the SSN. That doesn't feel unreasonable. Okay, because Rygar's the weakest, I'm going to actually switch him to the top of the party so that he can potentially do the most damage and get the most experience points. I guess I might as well use Ember, but not a lot of great stab moves on play. I slowed down the speed up a little bit so that it was 3 times instead of 5 times. I wonder if maybe I should actually speed it up a little bit again. Oh, not good. Do we have anything that we can use to wake us up from sleep? No. Yeah, this is actually a little bit too slow. I think it was a little bit too fast where it was at previously, but I think that we can definitely make it a little bit faster than this. Still not that bad, you know. Hooray, that's Dig, which might not be a bad move to teach a Geodude, for example, but I think I would be better off... kind of keeping Dig... oh, nice. He added in these little steps that you can use to walk up these ledges. I think it would be better for the time being just sort of keeping Dig in my back pocket until I find the Pokemon that I really want to use it with. There's usually like 1 or 2 interesting Pokemon in these grasses. Oh shit, Vulpix. Probably won't use Vulpix now that I have Charmeleon in my party, but I will definitely go out of my way to catch him. Oh no, you've got to be kidding me, really? That's an Abra, okay. These guys teleport immediately, so I'm going to try to capture them right away. No. Okay, Growlithe. I mean, I don't think that Growlithe will use Roar, so I'm probably going to be okay. Ooh, I might still be able to catch him without Charmeleon fainting. Hell yeah. As usual, if anybody has any suggestions of what I should call my newly caught Pokemon, you can let me know. It is very protective of its territory. It will bark and bite to repel intruders from its space. I'm going to call this dude... Janet. With 2 T's. Because it's cool. I'm going to put Mank at the front. Pidgey. We still want to see... I'm not going to spend too much time around here, but if I can catch myself an Abra and or a Vulpix, that would be great. Why is it... I'm not joking. Was that 3 Pidgeys in a row? Oh, hey, Jigglypuff. I mean, I might as well Karate Chop it and get some free experience points. Wow. Still? Alright. 5 more combat encounters. Growlithe. Okay. Well, it's a new Pokemon, but it's not a Pokemon that we need because we already caught one. Alright. Number 2. Vulpix. Here we go. Okay, it might use Roar at any point. So I'm going to toss my Pokeball now. Throw caution to the wind. Yeah, there we go. Alright. I'll give myself 3 more combat encounters to see if I can find an Abra. When it is born, it has just 1 snow-white tail. The tail splits from its tip as it grows older. I'm going to call this Vulpix... what do we want to call her? I'm going to call her Helena. Welcome to the Pokemon box, Helena. Oh shit, here we go. Alright, this will be my 1 attempt. Come on, I know you can do it. Yes! Woo! That is, ladies and gentlemen, some good-ass luck. Using its ability to read minds, it will sense impending danger and teleport to safety. We're going to call this Abra. I was about to say Kadabra, but that's not good. I'm going to call this guy Simsala. In fact, you know what? Considering that Abra is only a level away from evolving. Maybe it would be fun after... I'm going to go to the underground path. Get to Vermilion City. After we're in Vermilion City, maybe I would... Maybe it would be worth going into my Pokemon box. I have, like, a rare candy. Although maybe I should save the rare candy for later. Shit. Oh, it's another Vulpix. Nope, I can't bypass them. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, Mank and Jules, I think they'll be fine at the front. Okay, Mega Punch on him, and we'll just both attack the same one. Ah, come on, really? Nope. Both Mega Punching, wrong Pokemon. Whatever, it'll probably still kill it. Ah, really? There we go. There we go. Now that right there is a super effective hit. Come on, Mank. You can do it. Is that the only move that Oddish has done this entire match? Oh my god, it's such a long move! Like, come on. At least don't waste our time at something so long. It's literally the longest move in the game! Please stop! There we go. Alright. It's kind of insane, like, how many Pokemon in the early game are, like, not very effectively hit by Grass-type moves, though. Excuse me. Wow. Was Mank paralyzed 3 turns in a row? There we go. Oh my god. It's 3 Pokemon in a row, all of different types. All of completely different types that are all not very effectively hit by Grass-type moves. The game is actively taunting me. There we go. Alright. Ooh, I love the floor tiling in this new and improved version of Vermilion City. This actually looks really good. Wow, this is like dramatically altered from how it appears in the normal version of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Alright. Psyduck and Geodude, not doing a whole lot. I'm gonna swap these guys out of the party and bring Simsala the Abra into the party. Where are we? Here we go. I know I said earlier it'd be better to save the rare candy for something else, but you know what? I want to get this show on the road. I want myself a super duper ultra powerful Kadabra, so I'm gonna get myself an ultra powerful Kadabra. I love Kadabra's sprite in this generation, by the way. Great sprite. Now, here's the thing. That confusion is going to be very powerful, but I want to see if there are any other TM moves I could teach it. I wonder if it learns Thief. Is Thief? I'm pretty certain that Thief is a... Dark is a, like, special type move. I'm going to teach Simsala Thief. At least this will give it a little bit of a chance if they're in the unlikely scenario that I have to pit it against another Psychic type Pokemon. Or a Ghost type Pokemon, actually. Yeah, there we go. I was concerned for a second. Fuck, in Gen 3, is our Dark type moves physical or special? I'm pretty certain they're special. Indeed, they are special. Let's see how we... Excuse me, I'm talking too fast. I need some water. Your boy needs some water right away. We have Teleport, which will be very useful for teleporting to Pokemon Centers. We have Confusion, a decent move, and we have Thief. I'm feeling very confident about Simsala. In fact, you know what? Let's take Simsala for a whirl on this route. Ooh, it's level 22, which is very high, but it is at a type disadvantage here. Ooh, not the most powerful move in the world, and it did not poison me. Not bad at all. Now, here's the thing. I'm more than happy to continue using Kadabra on this run. I hope that the creator of this ROM hack, Jaizu, I hope that he introduced that one item that they introduced in Legends Arceus that allows you to evolve your Pokemon that normally only evolve through trading. It's called, like, the Link... It's not called the Link Cable, but it's, like, directly inspired by the appearance of the Link Cable. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I hope that you can find that item later in the game, because I would love to have an Alakazam on my Pokemon team. Come on. No, Pikachu. There we go. Now, I'm a little bit paralyzed, which is cutting into our speed, and our speed is really, really good, but I feel like if I need to, I can always... Oh, shit. No, I did not mean to do that. Okay, well, I was paralyzed anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh, shit. He became confused. Come on, Squirtle. Hurt yourself. Ah, no! Ah, fuck. Even though it's a type disadvantage, I bet that Rygar can actually finish this up at this point. I just need some confusion luck. Fuck! Oh no! What? Why even be confused then if you're not gonna act on it? And that's that for Squirtle. Mank is leveling up. I don't want to learn Focus Energy, though. You know what? I'm going to use Teleport to return to Vermilion City. Heal up my Pokemon real quick. And then take on that one last trainer with Simsala. 12 minutes left. It's going to be a little bit tight if I want to take on our rival at the SSN. Although, if I just go directly to my rival. It won't take that long, technically. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, not a very strong trainer. Yeah, you know what I'll do is I'll battle a couple of the trainers downstairs. I'll gradually kind of make my way upstairs, and then eventually when I feel like we're about to run out of time on the timer, I'll go ahead and just go right up to my rival and immediately challenge them. Ooh, level 19. Staryu. That means it's time for jewels. There we go. Shelter could theoretically have some ice-type moves, but I think he'll be fine. Shelter has very low special defense, so... yeah, there was never any worry, I think. Wow, this is a great matchup. I caught Abra thinking, oh man, it'll be fun to have a Psychic-type Pokemon on my team. This has come in incredibly useful. Now, the only thing is, it seems like so far, most of the Pokemon that we fought on the SSN have been Pokemon that Charmeleon can't really fight, which is a bit of a problem. But we'll get some international trainers eventually that will have some Pokemon that aren't Water-type. These guys definitely had some more Water-types on them because they are technically sailors. Rest. Wow, right up front. Goodbye to Horsey. And goodbye to Horsey. I like Horsey's sprite a lot in this game as well. Really like it. And we found ourselves an ether. Hooray. Excuse me. Man, more sailors. Let's give Mank a bit of a shot to do some battles. They could also have some Machops too, so you never know what we're going to be dealing with here. Oh. Tentacruel probably can't do too much damage to us, though. Ah, fuck. It missed? Here we go. There we go. Wow, one hit. I didn't expect it to do that, actually. Shelter is actually a little bit bulky in terms of its defenses, so I'm going to actually switch into Simsala for this one. Here we go. Sailor number 2. Maybe he'll have some fighting type Pokemon. Another Shelter. I'll just use Karate Chop. Unfortunately, he's not... Oh, wow. That did more damage than I was expecting. I'm going to switch in Butt Hugger. Ah, no. There we go. Goodbye to Shelter. Hello to some experience points. Oh, that's it. Wow, a lot of trainers down here. And grab some more water. Well, thanks to Growlithe not attacking, we're actually going to win this matchup. Alright, I think after this guy, if we want to make good on time, we'll probably want to run upstairs so that we can battle our rival. Get that taken care of. Maybe I'll battle one more trainer. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Uh-oh. Alright, after this guy, we're gonna go upstairs. Nidoran. This actually would be a good Pokemon for Simsala to fight. Perfect, and it just leveled up prior to our rival fight, which is just where we want it. And Psybeam, holy shit, which is it's not like a huge upgrade over Confusion, but it's decent. 50 damage to 65 damage, respectable. All right. We're gonna heal up. And we're gonna head to our rival. Here we go. There we go. There you are. Did he say bonjour? That fucker. Ooh, Pidgeotto. Not a good matchup for Mank. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna switch to Butt Hugger. I think what we need now, like, we have a team composed of a bunch of pretty interesting Pokemon. We definitely need either a Water-type Pokemon or a, like, good Pokemon that also happens to learn Surf later on. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, well, at least he's paralyzed, but fuck. That sucks. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Come on, just hit once. Great. I'm not going to switch out. I'll just do as much damage as I can with Rygar, and then I'll... Alright, Simsali, you got to take care of this. You got to fix this fucking mess. Oh, come on. Come on! There we go. Fucking finally. Menk, you kick this Eevee's ass. You show him that we mean fucking business. Are you kidding? They all have double team? Come on. Not this time. Oddish. A perfect Pokemon for Simsala to take on. This is the same shiny Oddish from last time that really surprised us. All right, and there we go. That was a really crappy rival fight. What's up with that double teaming? Come on. We have like less than a minute left, so I'm going to go back downstairs. Maybe, is there a trainer here that I can battle? No, but it's glad that I got that taken care of. Is there anything down here? Right, I think that's the kitchen. I'll have to explore the kitchen on a later occasion. Oh shit, there's actually a couple more trainers here I did not previously encounter. Is it this one? Yes, it is. Alright, we're going to go ahead and we are going to take a short rest, heal up our team a little bit, and save our game. I thought that was pretty good progress for 30 minutes. I still don't know if I'll necessarily make a final stream where I just play this game to completion. I might actually complete it on my own time. Maybe I'll bring it with me to PAX. Who knows? Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go grab our corn pudding upstairs, and I will be right back.
Understand what living is, it never be the same law. And then nothing that you're strained for is all in the moment. The sentiment is excellent, I'm feeling of components. And living life in every cell to feel the vibration. Connecting with the world, you feel the universe rotation. I touch in space, a matter, it's no matter if there's matter factor. Stuck up in the past from the present where the latter trap. We all become a casualty, tenacity, your time control. And whether it's the future or the past, it gives the life you know. Love I really want to live, negative or positive. Newton's relativity, you're trying to keep it grounded. Conflicted with the contents of the people that surrounding. I ain't alone, I'm dialing out for people and I got a tone. So even if the crowd condoling, never wanna listen. At least I learn contentment in this walk of this position. We're gonna figure it out. So get what you pray for. We're gonna figure it out. So get what you pray for. We're gonna figure it out. So get what you pray for. We're gonna figure it out. So get what you pray for.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our pudding in front of us, and here's the thing, it looks really good, however, I'm jiggling it around and it's actually not fully set, and the instructions specifically say, until the pudding is set and a nice golden brown on top has appeared. It's a nice golden brown, but it's not fully set, so we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to put this back in the oven for a little bit. I will be right back. Sorry. Just keeping you in. I don't really have too much else to say other than that, you know, sometimes with these dishes, you put it in for the amount of time that it says in the recipe instruction book, and it just doesn't fully turn out. It doesn't fully work. It feels a little bit unset. It doesn't feel like it's been fully kind of cooked through, and you kind of just got to roll with the punches. Right now it's 9:48. I set the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit to kind of slightly speed up the process a little bit. Of course, it will need to climb to that temperature anyways. I'm going to wait like another 10 minutes. I don't want to overcook it because you don't want to get into a situation where it accidentally burns. But I think another 10 minutes will be good. In the meantime, let me talk a little bit about what the plan is for when this thing comes out of the oven. Give me a moment. So you guys have been looking at the Pikachu corn pudding dish in the top left corner of the stream for some time now. And, oh man, sorry, this is just a quick diversion. I don't know if you can see this. Let me zoom in real quick. But during season 1 or season 2 of Kozibear's Cooking, I made, let me spin it around, Carnivine-themed, like cabbage rolls. Partially based off of this recipe. Terrible. Oh my god, I did such a poor job of like properly kind of boiling the cabbage rolls ahead of time. They were so tough to eat through, and they photographed terribly. It looked awful, and I know I make a lot of awful, weird looking foods on these streams, but they especially looked especially bad. Those are some bad memories. Again, this cookbook has led to nothing but strife and torment. Let's see here. I gotta go back a little bit to get to the Pikachu recipe. Here it is. So basically, the way that this recipe book says that we gotta do it is, what we gotta do is we gotta place a piece of paper that has been cut in the shape of Pikachu's head on top of the creamed corn, and then we gotta sprinkle parsley around the paper. I have right over here in the corner, I've been holding onto it for a while, a container of dried parsley flakes. And so basically we do that to get the Pikachu shape, and then we create Pikachu's face with prunes and ketchup. I have right over here in the other corner a thing of ketchup, and right next to the ketchup I have a nice thing of Kirkland prunes from Costco. Give me just a moment. I feel like they have not changed this packaging in many, many years. I remember in the 2000s eating these at my grandmother's house. Oh man, nostalgia. They're very nostalgic in that way. I put a piece of tape on them to warn people not to eat them because I knew that people would dig into them if they were not warned against it. It's a little bit overkill to buy like an entire bag of prunes like these just to make Pikachu's facial features, but they taste good on their own. It's not really going to complain. And so yeah, that's how the recipe book recommends that we make Pikachu's face, which makes sense because I feel like something like prunes are going to like pair well with like a creamed corn like dish. I actually have right over here a small cutting board and a knife that I will be able to use to cut out the pieces of the prune so that we can properly make Pikachu's eyes and ear pieces and whatnot. It took me a couple of tries. This is the Pikachu piece of paper. It took me a couple of tries to get this exact size. Give me a moment. I have over here two other larger Pikachu heads. I assumed that these would almost be too small, but they actually were too big for the casserole dish that I made the corn inside of. This actually ended up being the correct proper size, but I still have the two other heads here as reference in case we need them for something or other. Just grabbing my water bottle and Red Bull. This is not the most sick I've ever been on any of my Twitch streams, but I can't remember a Twitch stream where I was as sick as this. Usually I feel like if I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, I'll use it as an instant excuse to be like, nah, not going to need to stream, but I committed to the schedule of doing one every Wednesday for several weeks, so. I want to say, for the record, I've had a lot of these Red Bull cans on these streams. I'm not like I'm not like a huge Red Bull fan. It's not like Red Bull is like a brand that I had a lot of allegiance to. Honestly, what made me pick it up was I was doing that first stream, which, fuck, what was the first stream? Man, it's been so many weeks, and it's not even, but it's also not even been that many weeks. Anyways, I was heading on home. Oh, right, it was the Nuka-Cola Fallout cake. And I was a little bit tired and a little bit exhausted. And I was like, I need a pick-me-up for these streams, something, you know, to give myself a little bit of a motivational boost to get through it, and also something, you know, to serve as like a sweet treat at the end of the day for putting in the good work. And I walked into a supermarket that was on the way to the metro home from where I work. And in that supermarket, they had like a red colored Red Bull can, because I forget what fruit it was. So you can go back and watch it on a previous couple of streams. Google Nuka-Cola Fallout cake and you'll see what I mean. And yeah, I was like, well, this speaks to me, and I feel like it's very appropriate for the color of what we're going to be making. And I was very fortuitous that I found this yellow orangey colored can for this stream as well, considering we're going to be making a yellowy orangey-ish dish this time around. Man, this Pokemon cookbook, let me bring in the zoom in on the cookbook again. It's such a disappointment, because you think like a Pokemon cookbook would be such a slam dunk. But again, all the recipes are like, oh, it's extremely simple, but also make this incredibly complicated Pokemon face using a bunch of ingredients. It's not easy. It's really, really hard. It's weirdly really hard. These do look kind of good, though. Burmy 3-colored mochi. But also, that's another thing, too, is it's like the Pokemon Cookbook, fun and easy recipes. I would expect something that's maybe a little bit more tailored to American markets. Like, we're going with mochi, Sakura mochi, Kusa mochi. 3-year-old, like, American Canadian kids don't know what that is. I wonder if this cookbook was originally made for people. I mean, the person that wrote it was Maki Kudo. This must have been something that was originally made for the Pokemon fans over in Japan, who probably are experts out of the womb at making dishes that look like these, and then it was probably translated for us here in the States. Ugh. That makes sense. By the way, obviously you didn't pick up on microphone, but earlier when I was doing the Pokemon Recharge Yellow section of the stream, I felt a little bit of rumbling in my butt, and I was like, oh shit, am I gonna have to sharp myself in the middle of the stream? Thankfully it did not happen. It seems like that has been delayed indefinitely, potentially. Also, I don't need the Overwatch Cookbook anymore, so I'm going to put it to the side. Seems like that's been delayed indefinitely, which is good. But that is something I'll have to deal with afterwards. Some of these dishes do look... Well, here's the problem. It's like, the way in which these dishes recreate some of your favorite Pokemon are kind of impressive, but the problem is they also don't look super appetizing because they're often made of very simple, bland ingredients. That was a good cough. Like, this just looks like really bland rice. So many of these dishes are bland rice, but again, that I guess that further lends credence to the idea of this cookbook originally being written in Japanese. This one's interesting because, like, again, pizza, kind of a complicated dish for children to make, but also it's recommending you straight up just put raw eggplant pieces on this to recreate giratina, which is kind of cool because, I mean, I like giratina, and I mean, eggplant on pizza I'm actually not opposed to, but it's also raw eggplant. It's sort of ingenious on one hand, but also it's sort of like, no, this does not sound like a fun time. This does not sound like a fun time. There's the terrible Carnivine from earlier. Oh, there it is. A better, bigger, better picture of the giratina pizza. The giratizza. Giratizza. You have the impossible Reggie Gigas over here as well. Blossom, again, the way that they created Blossom in these images, impressive to behold, but also, like, again, it just looks like it's kind of a bland dish. Ooh. What is this? Driftloon Jiggly Gelatin. Jiggly Gelatin. So it feels like maybe not a perfect translation there. I mean, I get what they were going for. Again, though, it just does not look super appetizing. It's really the kind of cookbook... The thing I think what I realized about this cookbook is it's the kind of cookbook that, like, kids basically will make alongside their parents. Like, basically their parents will be doing all the prep work for these dishes, and then the kids will come in at the end and make a, like, terrible looking chimchar, apple tart, whatever it is. That's probably how this works. It's 10 p.m. I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna see how our corn bake is currently doing. I'll be right back. Hopefully it's ready. Okay, so we got good news and we got bad news. Hold on, I'm just realizing it's not super centered on the table. The good news is it's a little bit more set than it was previously. The bad news is that it's now a little bit more burnt looking. It's not burnt, but it's definitely much more browned than what I was planning on. So, I mean, I might as well go through phase 1 of the plan of putting the Pikachu stencil down and applying parsley flakes. Let's see where that leads us. Of course, the Pikachu face is getting a little bit wet right now, but that's okay. Hold on a sec. We need to weigh down the extremities of Pikachu's ears so that it fully covers the dish. Also, we gotta open this thing up. This one doesn't really have like a good like sprinkler thingy. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just put a little bit in my hand and like see if I can sprinkle it on like this. Alright, well I hope the rest of the family likes parsley. We're getting it on there. Maybe what I can do is I can touch it up with a little bit of extra ketchup. Maybe a little bit of extra. Little bit extra. Really get the green in there. If it's really bad tasting, I'll just, cut it out afterwards. Dishes don't need to taste good on Instagram, they just need to look good, right? Right. I think that's that. Now, very carefully, I'm going to remove the Pikachu stencil. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I think we can get somewhere with this. Hold on. You know what? You know what? That Pikachu outline actually came out really good. Maybe what I can do is I can actually... I'm going to put the prunes over to the side for the time being. I don't think we're going to mess with those. Also, let me cough for a moment. Sorry. Don't want to cough into the food. Maybe I can, like, very carefully, like, create the outline of the Pikachu that we so desire. And then, if that comes out perfectly good, we won't need to even use any of our pitted prunes. Let's give that a shot. Oh, it's harder to control the ketchup than originally anticipated. Whoa! Okay, well, I mean, we're getting there. All right. Let's start with the cheeks. All right. Next up, the nose. Next up, the mouth. Next up, the eyes. Okay, and maybe this is actually where we introduce the bits of pitted prunes. This is not exactly going according to plan. But when has anything gone according to plan on these streams? Oh dear, oh dear. Problem is that the ketchup was too liquidy. It was too difficult to control. Man, don't you remember when Pikachu had deep, dark red and black eyes? Okay, you know what? This guy does not look perfect, but it's perfectly on brand for my stream, and so I think I'm going to settle with that. Shout out to Tuples in the chat. Sorry for not noticing you a little bit sooner. You tuned into the very, very, very end of my stream. I just completed my Pikachu-themed corn pudding. That does not look very much like corn pudding from this perspective, and definitely does not resemble the recipe image that I have in the upper left corner, but you can't say that I didn't try my best. Let's give this guy a nice look over. See? Isn't that nice? I mean, it's certainly nice in someone's eyes. Oh, what a beaut. What an absolute beaut. By beaut, I mean butane, because that's what it smells like. Just kidding. Doesn't smell like that at all. We're good. Whew. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and let's return back to normal. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into tonight's stream. Remember that this season is season 4 of Kozibear's Cooking, and that new episodes of it are currently streaming live every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. EST on twitch.tv/Kozibear Live from now until March 13th. That means that the next episode on March 13th is going to be the last episode of this season. You can also watch past VODs of both this season and the entirety of season 3 of Kozibear's Cooking over at youtube.com/@Kozibear7231. If you want to keep up with me outside of my streaming efforts, you can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at AlexKozina. That's AlexKozina. Just want to say real quick to Tuples in the chat. I'm doing okay. Obviously, as you can see, I'm winding to the end of my stream. I have a little bit of a cough. I'm still recovering from a cold. I hope that you're doing well, and thank you for the good night. As is tradition on this channel, I'm going to be closing out tonight's cooking by rating one of my fellow content creators. So let's see who is currently available to do so. Void Kitty only has one person currently watching them. Let's go ahead and let's raid Void Kitty. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. This has been a fun stream that, as usual, ended in kind of a disaster, but hey, it's on brand, and I have confidence it'll taste good. Have fun.